Hello and welcome to Electripreneur Secrets. I'm Clay Newmeyer. This is my co-host, Joseph the Salesbot Lucani, and we are here with you guys 5 days a week to help electricians master sales, simplify pricing, and deliver premium level service. One of these days, I'm going to butcher that so badly. I just know I'm going to. It's coming. We got rid of all the fancy shit. There's no buttons here. No production. It's just a live podcast that we keep showing up for, Joe. And today's episode 68. That means Monday's episode
69.
69. And we're going to have some fun on Monday. I can't wait for that one.
Yep.
But today we're going to have a great topic as well. What are we talking about today?
So I'm going to take a little moment to bitch about some stuff, which normally I don't do, but I feel like it's going to help a lot of people understand how warranties are supposed to be done and what your warranty is really communicating to your customer.
This seems important. And especially in this time, I wish I could say and report back here and say that service seems to be getting better out there. And while that may be true for our industry and all the lives that we're touching and trying to impact here in this little collective group of better practitioners, of premium service providers, everywhere I go, I feel like I'm being let down. Like this could be a 90s pop song at this point. It's getting crazy.
Oh, yeah. And
are you feeling that too?
Yeah. And I'm going to be telling you where we got let down. And so it's going to be some good stuff.
All right. So how does warranty, how are the service provider warranties creating some gaps here or leaving some gaps and having some letdowns in their consumer base?
Sure. So let's get into it. So there's two schools of thought that you have to follow here. There is what is the typical warranty and why is a warranty even offered, right? Why the warranties are offered is because you want to have your customer understand that you are a safe bet. No one ever expects you to have a problem. Right? Like they don't buy it from you expecting it's not going to work.
Risk. We're managing risk.
Exactly. We want to be, as a safe bet, you are more likely to win jobs even at a higher premium investment. Simply because when you perform a turnkey service, people will say, hey, I don't have to do anything but write the check. I'll go with you.
Love it.
The problem is, and this is where it starts to get a little iffy, is people don't understand what service usually should be. Service is something that you do before, during, and after. And the after is where you really start to see the cracks in people's level of commitment to service.
And it's definitely just like sales, not something you do to someone.
Amen. You do it for someone, goddammit. I love it. I love it. I love it. Do it for someone.
Do it for someone. Okay.
Exactly. So let's say you did a job and your pre-service was phenomenal. You answered the phone right. You got them on the calendar. They felt like they were family. You get there, you're on site, you're clean shaven, you look professional, you're doing the job right. Everything comes out great. You dance away into the sunset with the check in hand. You click in your heels like it's great. But what happens if the customer were to call you and have a complaint with some of your work? This is where it determines whether you're going to get the business in the future.
And maybe this is early for me to put this in there, but I would say there's an average school of thought for many small businesses that kind of come into this situation and don't put a lot of intention into the warranty process.
That's actually really true.
Rather, they might just go with, well, my competitors are doing a 1-year parts and labor, and so I'm going to put that on my contract. It's included, and then I'm going to hope nobody calls.
That's the thing we're going to get to.
All right.
That's actually right there, Clay. That is on the freaking T-ball right there.
Nice.
Perfect.
Let's hit it.
So the thing is you're right. People don't want you to use the warranty. If you're hoping that your customer does not use your warranty, you have a bad warranty, because that means that you're not going to do it from a place of compassion and you're not going to do it from a place of service. A get in and get out warranty always leaves both parties feeling frustrated and dissatisfied, right? You want to establish that you are a safe bet before, during, and after. The after is most important. So I want to talk about an example of a bad warranty that I had to personally experience and how it inspires us to do something better in the future. Because sometimes looking at what went wrong, I mean, we're technicians. We troubleshoot, we diagnose
Yep.
what went wrong so we can fix it. So I'd like to describe what went wrong, and I'd like to run it past you, and you tell me what your thoughts are on. Is that fair?
Right. Yeah, let's go after it.
Okay.
I'll do my best.
I know you'll do wonderful. So you remember when you came to my house, you saw I finished the basement, I finished the whole everything. One of the things I'm very proud of is that like I framed my basement, I sheetrocked it, I did all the electric, did all the plumbing. Only thing I didn't do was the flooring. I'm not a floorer. I'm not that guy. I don't know how to do flooring.
Yeah.
But I could do everything else really well. I called the contractor a couple of years ago to come in and put in a floor. Shouldn't have been overly complicated. Bought the best floors I could have bought. Life-proof floors, had everything done. We treated them the right way, did the overcoat, everything you needed to do, we did the right way. Problem was, we started noticing that the boards weren't really lined up certain day. Over time, they started to bend, they started to shift. Not a huge concern. I'll put a tarp over. I'll do something. I'll blend it. I won't notice it. More cracks, more cracks, more cracks. Now the floor is starting to really start to crack in my office. So I contacted the provider and I said, hey, I'm just curious. I wanted to go over what your warranty process was because I'm noticing there are some concerns and I know you did a great job. So I'd like you to come and evaluate to see if it's the product or if it was an installation. What do you think his response was? Like, if you were going to say, what should it have been versus what do you think it was?
Well, I would say what it should have been is no problem. I would love to help you with that. But in his mind, I'm sure, as the example he already made, he probably honestly doesn't have a great process even detailed. So in having that, it was probably more of a knee jerk, shoot from the hips. And honestly, he didn't know how to respond. So I'm imagining, Joe, that it didn't go well.
Didn't go well.
Did
Your way
he
of
make
handling
you
was
feel
right.
wrong in any way, shape, or form?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna get to that.
Oh no.
So pretty much you were right. The first thought is it'd be a pleasure to help you. I'm happy to help you. This would be, and of course, we'll come out and take care of this for you. Let's schedule a time to come back and do an evaluation. Right?
Yeah.
That would have been it. That would have been fine. And then the argument would have stopped there.
Yeah.
His
Of
response
course,
was,
can I just confirm your details as well?
sure.
To make sure that you can line the two up. Yes, you are who you say you are. Yes, we did this work. Here's the date. Here's what we did. And here's the warranty, effective date, effective end date, and what's included.
Yeah, that would have been
Or
perfect.
interject that. But obviously, those are the nuts and bolts of this little situation. Okay.
Correct. The response was, well, we didn't install it wrong. So you'll have to contact the manufacturer and see what you can do.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So the first thought was immediate blame shifting.
Yeah.
That happens way too often because in my mind, the first thing wasn't you installed it wrong. I wasn't coming after him. He was a great flooring guy. Like it came out looking great. It's just starting to crack. I assumed it was the material. But when he said, I didn't install it wrong, so I immediately started losing him there. Because I'm like, okay, so wouldn't it make sense that you as the provider who installed and provided the material would then be the one who goes and contacts the manufacturer? And I actually had that conversation with him. I was like,
By the way,
what? Sure, go ahead.
It's my favorite thing about accountants when you get audited. If they're a good service provider, they handle that line of communication so you can continue living your life, doing your job, doing your work. Just want to throw that little parallel in there.
No, you're right. It's the thing is we need to serve our clients after as well as before and during, which means that we need to say, will this experience that they are receiving from me, whether they were in a good situation or a bad situation, will they want to come back after this situation? Because when a warranty is done right, it reinforces that you were the right fit. It doesn't take away from it. Sometimes we look at our jobs and we say, oh, I know. Well, you know what? The job went wrong and they blew up on me and we're never going to work with them again. She was just a Karen. Like they'll come up with something. That's not always the case, right? So continuing with this situation, I had to press him. I really had to be like, listen, you provided it. You installed it. it's less than like 2 years. What do you like? Where am I at fault for this? And I literally got him to go and contact the manufacturer. He said, I'll take care of it today. 2 weeks later, no response,
Yeah.
nothing. I'm like, hey,
Oh
did
boy.
you reach out to them yet? No, I got too busy. I didn't get a chance to take care of that yet. Can you call on my behalf? No, no, I can't. You're the installer. You provided the material. You contact for warranty. Eventually, a week later, gets back to me and says, oh, yes, here's the material that you need. Submit this claim to these people. Okay, fine. At that point, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. I needed to get roller weight, board pressing, how long it acclimated for. I'm giving all these technical information and I'm waiting. I'm texting him to get information back. And it's like days later, he's getting back to me.
Yeah.
So far, we're about 4 weeks after I made the initial claim.
Very clear that it's meant for the technician to answer that information.
Correct.
In case we didn't take that out of thin air, I just wanted to say it. Okay.
Yeah. So we're on the same page there. So I am still going through this warranty situation, right? But even though he did amazing work, even though he and I bonded on a personal level, even though I feel like his price is fair, I will probably not use him again. And think about that. I want you guys to really think about what I'm saying here. You could be the right provider. You could have done a great job. You could have really bonded and your clients like you. But if you're not willing to take the extra effort to help them when they're asking you for help, when it's probably in your interest to do so anyway, you will not only lose clients, but if they have podcasts, they're going to bitch about you on them.
Nice touch. Nice
There you
touch
go.
there. Man, there's so much importance around this and relevance to other subjects. I'm having trouble even choosing the right feedback at this moment. But it's so important to say, I think, first, that in lifetime client value, you don't have a defined end here, guys. There's no limit to it. You
Yeah.
have stories that we've told on this podcast where some clients you've defined up to $300,000+ in value over
Yeah.
your decade or more of service.
Yeah.
If you treated that person at any point, or if they felt at any point a gap growing between your level of care and attention towards the installations you do currently price or had done in the past and are warrantying, do you think that would have gotten to that level?
I mean, there's no way. There's no way it would have happened because the reason he kept coming back, this particular client that was 300,000 plus, the reason he kept coming back is because we busted our asses to take care of it. Now, I actually want to say something kind about my former business because there was actually something I learned there that my former partner had done that was actually really commendable. And it
Good.
really inspired me in a way.
Let's hear it.
The customer that we're talking about, we installed a backup generator and we installed a backup battery backup for it. Or sorry, I double said that. Battery backup for it. So
Yep.
he had 2 levels of redundancy for his sub pump because he said, if my sub pump goes, we have a major problem. It's
Yep.
going to flood. We're going to have a real concern. Naturally, we're going to take care of it, right?
Of
He
course.
also was a first class member. And I remember he gave us a call and he called us. It was something like 1 a.m. I don't remember when it was. It was this crazy early time. And he asked us to go and help him with something. He was like, my sub pump's flooding. We're like, okay, was the battery backup one? And he's like, no, the battery backup is showing it's working. I'm like, oh, well, did you lose power? No, everything's working. The sub pump's just not working. We didn't install the sub pump, by the way. Right. So my logic was, hey, we didn't do this sub pump. We don't do sub pumps in general.
Yeah.
I can't physically go out there and do a sub pump. So you should call a plumber. At the time, this is my 1 a.m. previous Joe brain.
Yeah.
My partner at the time said, no, he's a first class member. This is what we need to do. Got in the van, drove to his house, coordinated a plumber while at his house, and then stayed there until about 3 a.m. to make sure that he was settled and satisfied.
What'd you charge him for that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a dime.
You
He
didn't
was a
go
first class
broke?
member. Nothing.
And your
Didn't send
company
it.
still lived beyond this point.
Yep. That was the thing. That's the important thing. And I remember thinking to myself, man, you threw it away. You're giving away free value. But looking at it back, I'm looking at it and saying, you know what? I learned an important lesson there,
Yeah.
because this customer referenced that moment for years. He kept saying, I can never go anywhere else because I'll never get service like you gave me.
Yeah.
I had your personal number. I called you out. You found me a plumber. You rescued my home. I'll never get service like that ever again.
100%.
That's how you handle a warranty call.
Yeah. I'd be a client for life too. I would.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
It'd be like, it wouldn't matter what we charged you. It really wouldn't matter. When you got service at that level where a uniformed technician shows up for free, never even thinks about charging you. I mean, I was the co-owner and I was saying like, dude, this isn't a good idea. Like, I'm not getting out of bed at 1 a.m. to drive this. He was like an hour and a half north of us.
Yeah.
He wasn't close. He was in the boonies. So the fact was, that is how a warranty call should be handled. You want to make sure that your client, after you're done working with them, they're like, how could I ever go with another company again?
Yeah. 100%.
Mhm.
And there's some crazy things happening here. Again, bunch to unpack, but since you just mentioned that really free value that you gave it, free. I mean, first class membership is front loaded. We already have a payment from this person who has pledged to use you and only you. And so you went the extra mile, I would say.
Correct.
If we really read through the fine print and brought the lawyers out, would that have qualified under your warranty? No, I'm sure it wouldn't have. But in doing that, you stood apart from anyone else. So here's the other thing, financially, doing this all with intent, there's a number that most of us are unrealistic about, or just don't have intention in, or are not aware of. And it's right on your profit and loss. And it's really quite simple. You've got revenue generated, so your gross sales, and then right under that is a line, refunds. And I challenge anyone who's listening, let us know if you're live with us on the Facebook group, or to even just be a little self-reflective in this and ask yourself, how much do I have listed for refunds? Warranty work can fit in that slot right there. And you could be as simple as using a percentage until you see your own trends. But it's a great idea for everyone to assume some refunds, some warranty work, because you're doing parts and labor likely, and it's not sitting here saying it's going to be your fault. But wouldn't it be wiser to have that maybe 5% built in? 5% of revenue we're going to plan to go over and above on. And you know what? If they don't call, then I'm going to use that 5% difference with intention to go over and above for a few people anyway. You could be like the cop on the side of the road trying to hit quota, except doing the opposite. I'm going to make some freaking months today. In the context of, I'm going to make some people's days today. I'm going to make some people say good things about us today. And this all ties back. It all ties back to this concept of buyers are on a journey. Too many of us look at this like a moment in time. I'm going to get that cash. I'm going to get out and we're done here. Again, it's like the preferred immediate gratification over long-term delayed gratification. Stoics called it acrasia. It's still a problem. There's so many problems based on choosing the flavor of right now. Right? I want a cheeseburger so bad. There's an apple on the counter, but I'd rather go to McDonald's and eat a freaking Big Mac. You know what I mean? All these gratification incidences. So how I'm bringing this back is it's bigger than today. It's bigger than this sale. And if you put intention into the longevity of those clients, you start to see real growth. And on that buyer's journey, you'll notice that everyone refers. And they're going to continue to refer because people are going to keep asking them, hey, do you know an electrician? And I bet you if anyone asked this guy and all the good things he had to say about you, who was he going to say?
I'd be crazy to think that he'd say anything other than my former company. Like, it just like what can you do in that circumstance? Because the goal was always to serve. We wanted to serve others at our highest capacity. And that's still my goal. That's what I want to do here. I want to serve all of our listeners and every electrician in North America And if we can take it international, we will, because we want, the mission is beyond us. So as long as your values are intact, you can actually use that to build your warranty. Imagine you're the customer. What do you want them to think about you when they call your company? Because, I mean, is it safe to say that, like, you know, no salesperson ever going to have 100%, right? Wouldn't it also be safe to say that no project would go without some percentage of failure rate?
Yeah, that would be safe to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if we know that there's going to be problems, and we suspect that at some point, even if they're not our own fault, like, okay, like an example, I had a situation once where we installed a generator for a customer. And for anyone who's familiar with the 10 kW Generacs from back in, like, what, 2016, 2017, they were having a recall issue where the actual load base, where you'd actually tie in, where it connects from the load to the actual breakers, one of them came from the manufacturer with a screw that would only been, like, threaded twice.
Oh, shit.
So the generator was only getting 120 and therefore would not transfer, because it would always sense saying, oh, we have utility. It's here. So I had to go back on a warranty call and just tighten that thing back into place. But I had to spend time troubleshooting the system to figure it out. If you don't plan for things like that, I didn't make the ATS. I didn't tighten it in,
Yeah.
but I still had to warranty it. What would that customer have said if I was like, well, I mean, I didn't do this. You're going to have to pay for this after I just installed it?
We talk about this often, but hey, I've got a contractor playing below the line. Blame,
Mhm.
excuses, denial. Does not want to help me. Busy with new customers. Doesn't
Mhm.
appreciate me. Right? This is crazy, but we follow a bit of a framework that this brilliant business mind, Alex Hormozy, is a guy in his mid 30s too, like us.
Mhm.
He's a gym guy, but he wrote this book called $100 Million Offers, and it's
Mhm.
brilliant. It's brilliant. There's a little formula in it. And on the top side, we've got two pieces, and it's what your clients want. There's the dream outcome, and there's the probability of success. That's that
Mhm.
risk that we talked about earlier.
Yep.
That's where the warranty kicks in. We reduce risk with that probability of success. We got great reviews, we got a great warranty, and they can provide this dream outcome, the desired outcome.
Mhm.
It's perfect. But then there's the bottom side of the equation. This is where it gets a little messy.
Mhm.
Time delay. And these are the things we're trying to reduce. Top side, we're trying to increase. Bottom side, we're trying to reduce to nothing. Time delay. And on the other side is effort and sacrifice. The flooring example you made earlier, the guy violated both those bottom equations, made it take a
Mhm.
month and made you do it all yourself, even when you didn't have the answers.
Mhm.
Here's the crazy thing. Remember that dream outcome we talked about, the first piece of this equation?
Mhm.
Do you think that, and you can reflect on this from personal experience, but when you sell something to a customer, do you think that dream vision they had goes away after time? Do you think that
No.
they see the cracks and the creases in it, and they account for wear, and just, things are going to just turn to shit over time?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's
And
expected.
the
No.
thing is, no. The answer is going to be, like, always no with that. Like, especially, and this is what I really love, especially when you buy premium. Because let's say, sake of argument, you have a landscaper come by and he's going to cut your grass. You have an acre of property and he asks for $45 and does a shit job.
Yeah.
Paid $45 for him to mow for 2 hours. Come on. Like, the guy's working for 20 bucks an hour. You can't bitch about that. But if it was $200, you would have a reason to, right?
Yeah.
So you wonder why, when we charge more, do people complain more? It's because when you charge more, they hold you to a higher standard. They have the reason to complain because they said, I paid more for this, so I should receive more for this. So you charging more actually puts you at a higher level in the customer's mind. It's a good thing, but that's why it has to be an honor to serve your customer afterwards.
Mm,
When they call, don't view it as your old money. I'm focusing on new money. Instead, think of them as, oh, old money is coming to become new money again. Great. Let's wow them. And then it's a free lead. let's wow them with our service. I would have, if I was going to take a new lead in, I'd have to pay for it anyway, right? Technically, I'm paying for this lead with money they've already paid me.
They already established trust by swiping in the past.
Yeah.
What are the
So why
chances then
wouldn't?
this floorer, to follow that example, could have come to your house, honored you with great service, and maybe offered another flooring product and had you buy something else?
The sad part is this. I'm actually, I mean, you came over here, I told you about it. I'm planning on doing multiple renovations in the home.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm probably going to end up doing it myself. I'm going to have to learn flooring. I'm going to have to learn more of the carpentry aspects. You know, I'm a good rough carpenter. I can frame, but
So
I'm
that
not a
sounds like a
finished painter.
disservice to the whole flooring industry now.
It does.
What we're making everyone shy of being ripped off again.
Mhm. Yep.
It's crazy. And this all stems from setting up a in the box warranty, whatever you see others doing, just saying, hey, 1 year parts and labor, and then not putting intention behind that process and actually having a way to handle that call. And
That's
all he had
exactly
to do, even with nothing, is have a way to answer the call
exactly.
that wasn't going to piss you off, that was going to buy him time and set the appointment to come and have a look before casting judgment or making you feel turned away.
God, that's a solid answer, Clay. I was gonna say you're on a roll there because like my first thought is I wanted to be like, well, let's add on to that. It's expanded, but I'm like, now you hit it. That's it. That's really it at the end of the day. Because you're right. If he had simply said, well, Joe, I'm sorry that you're experiencing that, but I'm happy to help. Let's schedule a time that I can come by and take a look and see what's going on. Would have been it.
Time
Doesn't mean you have to come
delay
immediately.
handled.
Yeah.
Effort and sacrifice handled.
Yeah. It's done. And the sad part is I probably would have hired him for something else. And after he looked at it, he could have been like, well, I see that that's where you have heavy furniture. It's cold base. But like you could have come up with something and I would have been like, okay, he looked. But the fact that he pushed it off and said, now you're going to deal with it made me say, all right, well, now you're going to deal with it with no more future business from me.
Absolutely. All right. I feel like we've really talked about a lot of the negatives, the problems with warranty. Let's
Mhm.
help some people spin this with a few up points and action, an
Sure.
all-star action. Because I
I would
think
love
there's
that.
a few things we could touch on here that'd be really helpful. We've already touched on the intention.
Mhm.
Obviously, offering a warranty is very important to that
Mhm.
probability of success and limiting risk. So we're
Mhm.
gonna we're gonna hands down agree with everyone having that. How can we elevate our warranty now to make it better and stand apart from anyone else?
So you can tell the smile is coming because I'm ready for this. When you design your warranty, you have to design it in a way that every single person in your company can speak to it. It has to be something that when someone says, what's your warranty process? You can handle those three factors. And anyone in your company can say, yeah, we do great work. We've had customers call us for warranty concerns and we've handled them spot free. It's actually a pleasure. We answer the phone the same way. So,
So what I also heard there was pride in the delivery. So
mhm.
that was not unrehearsed. That's trained. That's something you actually have to go back to and sharpen the edge on once in a while. Maybe that's not a weekly training, but monthly,
Yeah,
bi-weekly should be
believe it or
touched
not,
on.
the best way to train it is this. What you do is when you have a warranty concern, you want to handle that so you knock it out of the park to the extent of you getting a 5-star review. If you can push to get a good review from a bad situation, you take that and you bring it to your team meetings and you put it on the bulletin board. You let them know this is what we stand for. This is what we're about. We don't open our doors to take from people. We open our doors to give to people. And I am so proud. And I would even raise the person, make him stand up, and we'd all applaud him. Say, thank you for serving the customer at this level.
Love it. Problems are opportunities. Love it, love
Exactly.
it, love it. And that's a whole
Exactly.
podcast on its own. I think it's on the list.
It is. It is. Now, I'd like to tackle the all-star action, if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
The all-star action is going to be more intense, but Clay actually already touched on it. It has to be trained. So the way you would do this is imagine if you got asked by a customer, what is your warranty process? Or a customer approaches you to file a warranty claim. You need to have rehearsed your response, whether that's your voice inflection, whether it's your surprise, whether it's whatever. So As an example, imagine someone says, I have an issue with my floor. And your first response is, well, that's not a good start. So always start with the moment of surprise. Be like, wow, I'm really surprised to hear that. But I appreciate you being willing to come to me so I can help you. The good news is you went with the right decision. You made a good choice going with Service Loop Electrical. So this is what we can do for you. We're going to schedule a time that we can come out to your home to provide a full evaluation of this, what's going on. We'll let you know what happened and why it happened, as well as what we can do to resolve it. I never told you I was doing it for free. I said I'm going to come out to evaluate and offer you solutions of resolution.
And to continue with a fair and consistent value exchange. And that's what I'm hearing. And if you're on the inside with us in our Better Practice group at Service Loop Electrical, then you already know there's intention behind the moment we answer the phone for a new customer for the first time. There's intention when we get to the door and you're smiling with someone for the first time and asking how you can help them, right? There's intention behind every step of the way. And it's so important that we have that continuity, even on the back end here, because right there, why act surprised? I just want to touch on that quick to support this point. Why act surprised when you answer that call?
Because what it's communicating is you never expected there to be a problem. You suspected everything would be perfect for years to come because of the quality, the reliability, the attention to detail. All those things are paramount to your business. So if you were like, shit, all right, well, let's go out and take a look at it. You're expecting something. You're like, oh, okay, what'd you hack in? But if you're like, wait, you have a warranty concern? Wait, there's something, you're telling me the installation's not utterly perfect? Well, that's not going to stand. Thank you for giving us a call. I really appreciate the opportunity to serve you again. And then you go right into let me figure out when I'm going to come by. Let's offer you a solution for resolution. And thank you again for being comfortable enough to reach out to us. I'm looking forward to making you smile again.
Love it. Absolutely. I want to rip that mic out and drop it right here because that was a mic drop moment, you guys. We're here with you. And I know that you got some value from this one today if you heard this, right? How to not mess up this warranty and make it great. Give your business some character, some flair, and that confidence that will inspire your customers, both present, future, and ongoing. I'm not going to say past, no such thing, ongoing. And we're here to help you master sales, simplify pricing, and deliver premium level service. Premium, 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 and nothing less, guys. You can do it.
Right.
We believe in you. We'll be here with you again next week. Thanks for joining us. Cheers to your success.
Take care and happy Friday.